Appropriate Urban Renewal Agency regular meeting, for November 4th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Director Luke Dillon.
Here.
Director Rick Held.
Here.
Director Diana Larson.
Here.
Director Kathy Rath.
Here.
Director Jamie McElmurray.
Here.
And Director Robert Cheney.
Here. All right, everybody stand for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Election of officers.
I apologize, that's a cut and paste.
Yeah. Consent agenda, approval of minutes of regular urban renewal agency meeting for August 19th, 2025.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular urban renewal agency meeting for August 19th, 2025.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carries. Gonna do a public comment from Bruce. Bruce,
Hi.
you can come up here and state your name and just announce whether or not you're a citizen of Myrtle Creek.
Boy, well, this isn't a public meeting, not a public hearing.
I know, I'm just gonna say, it was.
You don't have to get sit in a hot seat and stay underneath.
It's Bruce Keiko, my wife Cindy. We are business owners here and also own property here. I own an insurance agency, Farmers Insurance and Atrio, right here on 3rd Street. So, I don't know if that qualifies me as a citizen, but I spend more time here than home, so.
This is a presentation, it's not a public hearing. There's a difference, so you have to go ahead and.
Okay. So then, okay, anybody can speak. Okay, well, that's who I am. And I know more than you needed to know apparently, but, yeah, so I had spoken, should I just express why I'm here?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so,
We can try and reach your mind.
didn't work. Anyway, we purchased the insurance agency here at Farmers in 2020. And over the last, about a year ago, we had, a little over a year ago, we had a failure of the roof in that building. And it started leaking water, and to make a very long story short, it became quite the damage to the property. Ironically, it wasn't eligible for an insurance claim. You know, so here I am, farmer's agent. But it's not sudden and accidental if it's over time or maintenance, and the way these roofs, some of the roofs are designed, just don't bode well with building water. So it became the impetus to doing some repairs to the place that we wanted to do anyway. We had thoughts about redesigning and remodeling this building for some time, but because of time and funds, so forth, we delayed it. So this happened, and I had, in the meantime, I knew nothing about, and I don't know if that at that point it was even available, but I didn't know anything about the urban renewal project. And probably should have, attended more meetings, but we ended up doing, I guess the purpose of getting with you today is to find out, and I had actually called and talked to you, Leslie, and to you, Joanna, a little bit about this. To find out if, because we didn't know about the potential for this grant assistance, and combined with the fact that we've already done a lot of the work, we've done a lot of the exterior, we've done not all the landscaping, but most of it, sprinkler repairs and so forth to beautify the front. We've also done a lot of work on the exterior of the building. that includes a combination of not just paint, but also architectural changes to the building. We also replaced the roof, which was a pretty expensive expenditure. And then we replaced, the drywall and everything on the inside that was affected, and that led to a complete remodel of the inside as well. So we've invested quite a bit, and it's definitely become a beautiful building, and it's getting more and more beautiful, and hopefully it will, bode well with the goal of making our town more attractive to visitors and hopefully stimulate a little more business for everybody. When I reached out and spoke to Leslie, I expressed that, and her thoughts were that, you may want to consider, appealing to the board to consider, and she didn't use those words, that's my interpretation, is that it's past tense. So one of the criteria that I read through in the information was that if, you gotta get 3 bids before, and it has to be approved before you actually do the repairs. Clearly, that can't happen. So, my question is, before I continue the effort, which I've started, and I created a book for it, I've got, doing everything I can to reconstruct what's been done. And be as exacting as I can to make it as easy as possible to evaluate. Before I do that, I thought perhaps, so before I finish that, my wife suggested that maybe we should talk, and I should make sure that I'm not fighting it. Not that it's a fight, it's a wrong choice of words, but that it's not an uphill battle, so to speak, that I'm gonna try to get an approval on something that doesn't, meet the criteria. That being said, is there some potential for exception so that we could look at my project as being one of the introductions to, the success of how something like this could work, not necessarily set a precedence for other businesses to do the same thing, but perhaps produce some momentum, start some momentum. And, that perhaps we might, as a result of that, because in other ways, I think we certainly are eligible in terms of what it is we're doing. It's the timing that's off and the fact that we've done it. But the hope is that if you would consider allowing us to present and overcoming that issue with timing and the components that it asks for in terms of timing and bids before the project, our hope is that we can present and maybe be approved for the grant. So probably more words than I needed to say, but that's
No, that's great.
that's the goal of the whole. It'll be very helpful, it'll be appreciated, and would help us to continue with.
I think, for me personally, I'm open to the idea. I think we just have to make sure the wording of the way it's written for the renewal is to allow those exceptions. Hopefully it is, but I guess that's one thing we would have to confirm, which I'm not sure how you.
It's quite the packet. For the urban renewal qualifications.
For the grant that he's,
money.
yes, it is a cumbersome packet.
No, not for his package.
No, I know, no, I'm saying the grant application
Oh,
is, it's
I
more
understand
than it
that.
should be.
I understand that, but that's not my question. My question is, for how it's written to be able to give money,
It's already been renewed.
is it written to the point where we can provide,
Or we
allow
can grant an
allow
exception.
exceptions?
Or
Can we?
I would have to read through it,
That's what we would have to
Yeah.
confirm, because it,
basically, he would, if he was to present us with already paid receipts.
the only reason I bring that up is because we would probably all agree that we would want to do this.
That's what the money was for.
It's what the money is for, and that's
So
why we have
it's
this
the
money to
only-
be able to do this. I think it's.
But are we setting precedent?
Right, we gotta
that-
make sure.
Well, so I wanna point out that we have talked about in the past redoing this grant process. Because it was so cumbersome and it was a lot, that's why a lot of people didn't do it, is because you start doing it and it's like, oh god, it's a lot of work to, you have to find all the bids and you have to, get all these different things. So, we're the ones that wrote the grant process. It's not something Lonnie wrote the grant process.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if there's any language in there saying that we can basically not have to follow every step.
How long ago was the work done?
The roof was just within the last month, for example, as well as the interior renovation within the last month. There's been other stages of repair over the last 6 months. And, so roughly, I would say, and then before that, we had to do abatement and so forth. There's a lot of process there to do it correctly. Because there was asbestos in the roof, the ceiling. It was the popcorn ceiling. Long story short, it's been about 10 months. But the most recent, phase of it being the last 30 days. And we're not done. That's the other thing. If I might add, for whatever it's worth as a business owner and his own businesses for many years, I don't know what the pulse of the business owners are here in the town. But I do know that, to take advantage of a program like this would, the best I understand it, would mean that not only do the business owners have to fulfill all the, proactively fulfill all of the requirements, which are difficult to do just because of the difficulty of just time in general, just getting something like this done. But it's worth it if you feel that the outcome is going to produce the results you want. The issue is that it's also a financial barrier, because if it's the max, I think is 40% of reimbursement. So that means if it's a $10,000 project, you're gonna do this, you're gonna then get approval, you're gonna then put out $10,000 with the hopes that you'll have $4,000 in reimbursement, if you will, from the grant. My contention is that most businesses are just trying to get by. They don't have the excess funds to be able to fix up the fronts of the buildings and whatever else it is that they need to do. So, I don't know if I speak for everybody, but I would suggest that there's probably some barriers here because of that as well. So if funding were, and I'm not saying set a new precedence, but there is an attraction to be able to consider that maybe those funds, once you've gone through this, maybe some of those funds will be available proactively to help the project, the approved project take place. So that's just another aspect of it, but no, in my case, it's primarily done. So we would just, love the idea that we would help, if possible, do not set a precedent of negative, but hopefully not only help us, but help stimulate the program, which is what it's intended for.
There's only a 40% recoup on that.
I think it's a percentage up to a certain amount. I'm not positive.
Because I know the original one, when it was written, it was 100% recoup.
It's been a while since I've read it.
That's not what it said.
But that was the original one that,
Was drafted.
I think it also depends on, like Chrissy just pointed out, that there's different parts of the program. Like
Right.
there's, a paint, this.
right, and
So-
then yeah, I
So I
understand,
think
because there's like 5 different,
So I think there's different
parts of the-
stipulations on each one, or,
I think we need to seriously take a look at that before we can answer any.
Oh, I fully understand that. Yeah, and you're gonna have to.
That's what, yeah.
Sounds like
So I
it
think-
needs a review.
Yeah,
A
I think
review
we need
and
to, it's a
amendment.
legal thing. So I think what we have to, what, Rick just said too, is we just have to make sure legally we can.
We need to read it and see.
Read it and make sure we can, just because I think we all agree that we would want to do this. So I think it was just the way it was written, can we legally proactive, give you the money, after the fact.
Because that's what's really annoying in this.
And I do have
Being
one
able to
question.
reach out and find the resources.
Yeah, wait for her to finish.
There's so many different ways that you can find out the information, and a lot of times nobody knows anything because they don't go to the right place to find the information. So
My question on the roof, did you have a contractor that did that?
Yes,
And
yes.
so that contractor must have given you some sort of an estimate at
Oh,
one time?
yes, he did. I do have some estimates. I've started.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I don't have three, didn't have really the time. to
sure,
collect.
sure, understandable.
But ironically, with the roof, I do have three.
Okay, so,
And then I ended up using a licensed contractor who's,
Okay.
Foley Construction, well known, so
okay,
qualified people would do. the
Sure.
work. So, if that,
but I think there is some recourse we can go here, but it needs to be reviewed and see what our capability is legally.
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah, so, we'll take the time to review as a board and as city and to kind of see what we're able to do.
Okay,
And then I think this is an opportunity to, yeah, redo it, especially as a board to kind of just see what changes, we need to make on it too. So that's something we haven't really visited.
It was discussed, but it was never, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good idea.
put
We
it
do,
down as a goal.
what is this, a new, I'm not gonna suggest this, not a code review board for renewal, but, something that where we can just review.
Yeah, but.
So
all that.
So everybody can review it, it's all online.
Yeah,
So Joanna doesn't need to put it in your Dropbox, you can
Correct.
review it.
It's
Just
on
go
the
to
website.
Just go to the website, and review it, and then,
And that's the grant program, urban renewal grant program.
Mhm.
yeah, so I think that'd be what we need to do. Well, so we'll take the time to do that. I think, we'll tentatively plan to have a urban renewal meeting on the next meeting, which would be in 2 weeks. Where we can discuss what we've discovered. And then, yeah,
so Luke, would that mean that on that discussion, you would have,
hopefully we'll have answers for you.
then it would be beneficial if we were present on that meeting as well.
Yeah, we'll let you know. How about this? We'll discuss it and by the time, maybe the Friday before or somewhere on that.
yeah, I have your phone number still,
Yeah.
it's sticky on my desk, so.
We'll,
Okay,
hopefully by then we'll have if we have an answer by then, like knowing, we'll inform you so that you can be here for that.
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's the 18th, I think.
Yeah, and I think, I would definitely like to help you. I used to be neighbors with your business. My wife and I used to live in the house right behind it.
Oh,
My wife was the one with the crazy dreads.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I think you're.
I never-
Did you say that right? Your wife was the crazy lady with dreads, that's a crazy.
That's just what public is, yeah,
I know. Somebody we never really got to meet.
Yeah, you and I don't think ever really met, yeah.
No,
No, we didn't.
you've probably seen me
Yeah,
around.
yeah, exactly, yeah. There you go. So,
Well, thank you,
So
appreciate
that'll be
it.
our next meeting date? Or,
What's that?
uh,
Yeah,
will be the
The
next,
18th.
yeah, the 18th, okay.
so. All right, thank you, Bruce, appreciate you coming.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
I mean,
All of you.
if anything, it opened up, for us to make some,
By reading that
yeah,
grant process, will we be able to read that, tell if we can legally do that, or that's my
We
concern.
might
Well,
need
we should all read through it, and then if we don't think that we can do it, we should consult the attorney. But we should read, after we've read it, let Joanna or Luke know, one of the
we can
two.
review and then we can make a decision.
Because unfortunately, every problem doesn't fit in the same square hole. So, if there's some way that we can
Feeling with it.
change the terminology if we need to or something. Not for somebody to abuse it, but he's not like done the work a couple of years ago or.
Yeah, this is recent, this is,
Yeah.
it's fair.
And we still have more to go.
Yeah.
We want to, beautify the front center too. So there's some things we'd like to do there.
Okay.
And we're pretty busy. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I don't want to interrupt, but should we leave now? or-
That's up to you. You can stay or you can leave, it's up to you.
We have one more thing we gotta discuss, but you're welcome to leave, bring this. All right, regular agenda, visitor center update.
I don't know if you want to pass this around, this is my compilation of, this is obviously everything that we spent, utilities, this is not purchasing the building. Or the visitor center is the only thing.
That was already done, isn't it? That's already done, purchasing the building.
Oh, yeah, we purchased that last fiscal year.
This is, all the extra other expenses, even like,
Yeah, and so I know that we, from the very beginning,
Because the last one you gave us had the purchase price and all the other
Yes.
stuff, so I don't know where that one ended and this one starts.
well, I think, so Bob and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and he was asking about the visitor center. And I don't really know that if we discussed the visitor center this fiscal year on what we wanted to spend on it. Anybody?
you
No, we
mean
didn't,
like,
not that I recall.
discretionary?
As in a budgetary item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because,
Budget for the visitor center.
yeah, because last fiscal year, we had talked about it. And it was discussed and everything, but it was never brought up this fiscal year, and it's just kind of been willy-nilly.
Yeah.
We had talked about getting stuff from St. Vincent de Paul and stuff like that, so we weren't expecting it to be astronomical.
So none of this has.
A lot of this.
Oh, no.
A lot of this expenses, or, I mean, money that's put into getting getting ready.
This is everything besides labor, like city labor, our own people. This is, the sign, the electrician, that kind of labor.
I think what
but not-
would be useful for us to be able to do too is like, what's the, recurring fixed income, fixed expense for it, like, I mean, I see that you have water and sewer. those
Right,
things,
right.
But like, separate that.
What's the monthly expense for the
Yeah,
building?
what's the
Right.
monthly overhead, utilities?
Yeah, cause this is,
Yeah, I mean,
this
it's
is
still-
startup right here.
Right, it's still being established, but we just turned the gas on last week, so it's still, and we're still trying to work out all the
So I think
bugs.
that'd be helpful for us to know like what it's gonna cost per month to kind of keep this maintained, and I think. You brought up this point a while back, and it's kind of what you were talking about is. For all that we put into this, I'd like to see it open more than just a day a week.
Yeah, I would too, but it comes back to having the staffing.
Exactly.
Well, that's
So-
what, they have a lot of volunteers at the library, and that's why I wanted to coordinate with them, because that's the.
I
other
have done
thing.
that coordination, Shane and I and Susan Harris, from the chamber, and Jason had a meeting. To discuss staffing of the, and that's when we arrived at the, wanting the 2 days, but starting off with 1 day through the winter and the special events. And then moving on to 2 days, hopefully 2 days by about March. And I would like to see more than that, but
But did you discuss having a sign-up sheet like at the library?
yeah, they're going to worry about the staffing. They are going to provide us, the city, with a list of the staffing, and we're gonna vet every one of them, so.
Okay. Yeah, cause I know I would have loved to have that as an option. You
Yeah.
know, you get tired of shelving books and.
Yeah, go down there and,
And there's not a lot of traffic, so,
Yeah.
you know.
go down there and
to-
sit for an hour, you know.
You're letting me?
Especially for the duties.
You can go down there and sit for an hour already.
We talked about the window that was like. and
Doesn't
I
it
was
look like
thinking-
it's just you walk
Yeah.
up and,
Well, I was thinking like somebody could have some baked goods for, didn't we talk about a fundraiser or something?
well, they have the baked goods that they have and have to be
Licensed.
packaged. Yeah, they have to be in.
Licensed vet in a kitchen type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the coffee, I don't know about that, but I think they can just have coffee.
Thanks.
But.
We're not gonna do a walk-up window for you.
Please,
Baked sale.
Please.
This.
I might be
Worry
able
about
to
more
buy
things.
some
The problem
goodies.
is we don't want to steal business from Bonnie's. I know we discussed last night, how it was gonna cost and stuff roughly to run it. But then we stopped short of, we had a little discussion, I think, on, are we gonna charge people to use it?
The visitor center.
Yeah.
Like meetings or
That's
stuff.
a good, well, I had some thoughts on that, if it was like if it's a nonprofit type of organization, I kind of would like to hopefully allow them to use it for free, but it was like, I'm not sure how many for-profit kind of organizations would love to use it, and we would maybe have a small fee to that, 'cause I mean, like, I would like to see like it utilized, or a smaller fee for a nonprofit or something like that.
What do we charge for the community center?
It's, so the community center for events is $100 for the day. For a nonprofit, there's different, fee schedules. Any drug and alcohol rehab is free. Nonprofit youth events, I believe, are $10, and health and safety are $10. It's 25 for, like the recurring group type things, depending on if they sign a 6-month lease or a 1-year lease. And then commercial use is 125, but that's like if somebody was using it for, a profit type dinner or
Bakery.
something, yeah. That's the breakdown for that building. I've already scheduled Head Start for 3 different parent meetings there because they wanted a day that was booked at the community center. They usually go there. And so they have 3 days scheduled, and I've completed an application for the Lions Club to use it for our first business meeting of each month, which is 2 hours on the second Wednesday of each month.
What is the Head Start pay at the community center, or are they not paying?
When they're over there, I think they're $25 over there, but I'd have to check and
So we're just
verify.
gonna charge them the same, just one building that accommodate
Right
that?
now, nothing, nobody.
So I didn't charge them anything for this because I asked if they'd be willing to give it a try for us to a different location. Whenever anybody would like, we can start charging.
Well, we just need to have that discussion, so we've had.
I mean, there's gonna be expenses with it because you'll have additional heating if it's within standard hours, so there will be costs associated with it, so anything we can somewhat recoup, I think. If we're gonna charge for the community center, it's beneficial to carry over to the visitor center.
Instead of the last form that we had the cost of the building, and we weren't putting in our own labor, and my figure was about, we probably have $250,000 into that building, and to spend that kind of money, have it open 5 days a week, I think we need to either get more organizations in there to have meetings. We need to use, I think, more than 5 hours a week. That's a lot of money to spend on 5 hours, you know.
Well,
So,
I think that was the idea, and going forward, hopefully it will come to fruition. So
it's also
Let's have a
drug
positive-
out for a long time since when it's supposed to be finished.
now it's open,
But
so
so
let's
while
have
you're
some positive energy going.
talking about
Possibly
volunteers
charge people.
to operate it, how do people that aren't associated with the library, with the Lions Club, with the chamber, whoever is volunteering it, how do they know or feel welcome to volunteer if you have to go into the library to sign up? And I ask this question because there's so many like online volunteer sign up things. Is it something that you could make more accessible without having to go to the library to be like?
have to go to the
I just
library.
threw that out because I knew that the library had a lot of people that volunteer there. And usually what I've found is you see the same faces in lots of different volunteer organizations. So I just felt that by including the library, you would have the biggest
The plan
pool to
is,
draw from.
the plan is to have the staffing, here at City Hall. So you can sign up if they.
So I can make a Facebook post
Right.
and I can put something on our
And
website
it was
about
just, we
volunteers.
just use those organizations because those usually can get some volunteers from those organizations to use, to get it, start to use, to do the staffing. But it's not discouraging anybody that wants to.
It's not limited.
Right,
Right.
no, it's not limited to just those organizations. You know, if there was a retired person that wanted to sit in there for the 5 hours every day of the week, come on down.
Right, and that's what I'm hoping to find.
But is there, I mean, I guess there's nothing really in any risk or concern, like, do we just let anybody?
No.
But we want to vet it through our, through
We are
our,
requiring a volunteer application be completed, which includes a background check. We're not gonna do a driving check because they're not working in our parks or anything like that. But we are going to do a background check in order to have somebody be down there greeting the public.
And do they have any, or are we going to provide any tools to them to like, what if somebody wants to know the history? Is there some sort of resources for them to be like, oh, this picture of the mill is really cool, but I just moved here from California and I don't know anything to tell you about.
That's
That's what
something
you
I
like-
could work on, making
We're-
information.
we're working on that, we're hoping to we're trying to get hold of some of those history books that were made
Yeah,
a
we
few
have
years
them.
ago. And,
But it's really about training the people who are gonna be there to be able to
Right.
ask questions.
well, certainly,
But
but
at least have some kind of
frequently asked questions, current calendar of events that's going on.
It doesn't have to be anything big, it's just like, yeah, so they can answer some basic
Google.
questions. Yeah, I mean, you can Google, yeah.
It's be hard pressed to find anybody in this town that's lived here for 10 years that can answer the
Yeah,
questions.
sure, yeah.
Well, that's what people can do in their spare time. I don't think it's gonna be like the Hawkins pot. They can learn about the city and the county while they're waiting for people to come in.
It's a definite work in progress, and our idea is to have it open and to start moving forward in a positive way to provide a visitor center for those coming to our town, to promote our town. That's what it's all about. And whoever's in there, or whatever's in there, as long as we're promoting Myrtle Creek.
Something I suggested, and it was,
We're working on it.
when I went there on Saturday, when we drove up, it was, you couldn't really, I mean, you could see the open sign, but it wasn't really, there was nothing out there to really kind of say, hey, this is open. I suggested getting one of those little A-frame. So anytime anybody's there, there's an A-frame out on the sidewalk stating like the the visitor center's open. I think it just gets people to start trading money instead of driving by and just kind of see that and they'll want to.
Or maybe we could get one of those flags that flies right up front
I
there.
don't think we can do that, but
Well, it would stop people from trying to park right there in front.
Just get cookies and then.
That's where I park my way.
It's not, we're gonna mark that off and not make it parking, because you can't park in there.
but I think, yeah, I think something I was trying to put out was before.
Yeah, like the business of the month, they thing that they
Yeah,
put out,
something like
yeah,
that,
something that tells you that they're open.
We'll see.
You're gonna be open there with that.
Open free cookies.
And there is some, they're gaining some, footing towards, looking at possibly doing a mural on the side there where it's all white. Working with the mural committee about, something about a visitor center mural possibly, so,
Yeah, that's good.
which also has to be approved by us.
I was gonna say, who approves the murals?
We do.
Only if we're paying for them. If the bureau committee comes up with their own funds.
Oh, they can have.
Well, this is a
whatever they
city property that we can still.
No, yes, you are correct.
Guess we never answered the question, are we gonna charge them, what are we gonna charge? I think we should go with the same fees that are down at the community center, whatever was there, we charge for this one.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I
want. It's a
think
lot smaller.
It's a lot smaller.
I haven't been in it, but just
Like this.
looking at it, it looks smaller.
So I think we could do, if it's recurring, we could do along the same lines as the 20 and the 20, or the 10 and the 25, but
Sure.
as far as that space, and because it's small, I do suggest that we not, bill it as any kind of an event place. It should be a small business meeting zone for groups to have meetings.
10 or less.
Yes, the space, we're allowed 130 by the fire marshal in the community center. That space is much smaller over here.
And we don't have the numbers for the expenses, the monthly expenses either, so I'm assuming that the community center would have, larger expenses than this one. No?
I mean, if we're talking about
It's
10,
the
if we're talking about 10.
And plus,
that's
there's one
fine.
Yeah, the visitor center has internet.
Yeah.
Well, those are factored.
And I'm not saying you charge a bunch.
So
10, 25,
if that's the
50,
case, then it would
Make
justify
somebody want to
having.
stick you more minute.
Is that $25 one time or $25 like an hour? Is that
It's
for-
one time,
Just one
it's
time.
one.
$25 for the day.
Maybe.
No, I mean, so we're renting that out more as, because it's business meetings, the way I have put together a schedule is more based on hours.
Yeah.
Most of the things we do over here are the day, except for the small meetings like AANA. They don't have it for the whole day. But over here, because most meetings are a couple hours, I went ahead and made a schedule where we could have multiple groups have a business meeting a day in there.
Maybe that'd be a thought to try to get it open more, as some of these organizations that want to come down and use it, we could waive the fee if they want to volunteer 4 hours on a, whatever day is best for them to man the visitor center, just so my whole point is the more we get it open, the better off we are.
The question on that too is, let's say somebody is trying to wants to rent it as a business, for a business meeting during open hours.
So it has to be after,
Let's
hours.
say, what is that gonna start looking like too?
It has to be after hours.
So Head Start has their meeting from 3 to 5, their parent meeting, and so that's during business hours, but we
So the
had.
business hours of this place. Cause we set the first business hours for the visitor center from 10 to 3.
And if that meeting's from 3 to 5, it's.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're not, you can still be open on that same day that meeting.
Yeah.
You had a
If you're gonna, if we, okay, we'll look at that, we can't just
Well, it is-
free to everybody, but then when somebody else wants to come in and do it, we say, no, you're not an organization, you can't do it.
Well, I wouldn't even care if a knitting club sat down there and.
Yeah, the Cub Scouts, but,
I have Boy Scouts looking for places
yeah.
on occasion, so, I mean,
I was,
Boy Scouts, we did the community center.
More merrier, I think.
Yeah,
I was wondering, are you gonna have repeat groups on?
Hopefully.
So Head Start
But I
has
mean,
a repeat.
Yeah, the location.
The Lions is a repeat once a month, the same day.
The location where it's at, there you're gonna have a lot of interest, and so you're gonna have to reject probably, I would think, some people.
I will convince them to
Depending on
switch their
what-
time.
Right.
Yeah.
Take another.
First come, first served.
I don't think there's gonna be so much that you rejected.
yeah, that'd be, well, whatever. Okay. Anything else? On that? I guess, do we want a consensus, like? Do we want to come back and talk about maybe the next meeting about what the fee schedule should look like?
I think we need a fee schedule.
Okay.
Well, we need
We'll
the finances.
put that together and then,
Yep, I'll
Not
create
the
one.
start.
get an idea of what the,
You want what the utilities are gonna be.
Right, the
basically.
monthly expenses without the startup cost.
yeah.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
I'll wrap that with
Something
it.
on that last sheet, yeah, somehow we knew how much it was approximately was gonna be, but maybe not. I'll go back and find it.
I remember looking at her. All right, anything else? All right, adjourn.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.